I Googled it. Apparently, that bolt is also the drain plug. It holds on this back cover, but it's also the drain plug. So we're draining. Oil in the transfer case. You didn't get a good look at it because I wasn't filming when I pulled it out. But it looks all right. It's not terrible. It was really low though. Trying to kind of estimate where it was at based on how much oil came out. So oil level should be right here ish, because that's the fill plug. I'm guessing that it was there-ish. So it was only about half full. But that's all right. We're gonna resolve that right now. Kind of getting ready to do a quick inventory on what it's gonna take to get this guy out of here too, because once we get all the fluid drained out of everything, the next step, I guess, is yanking that sucker. I still haven't had a chance to go get a battery or a starter or anything else. So I guess I'll just start working on this until I get a battery and a starter, and we will see where we go from there. I did want to show you this also. I was able to actually get it wired up in such a manner that I can get it to jump. So it was a grounding issue, the way that I had it rigged before. But if we jump it now, the starter seems to be good. So, gotta be a wiring issue, which, of course it's a wiring issue. You saw the wiring. So, I guess we dig into that next. All my mechanic bros out there. Has anybody ever actually been able to drop the pan on an automatic transmission before without just making a gigantic mess? The way I was taught to do it, I've just got these all backed out like 1/4 of an inch. And then we're going to just go ahead and pop the gasket seal, kind of let it drop down to the level of the loosened bolts. And then you can start in one corner, kind of take them out, work your way back, put the pan under that corner. Most of the oil will drain out that one corner and you can catch it. And the rest of the oil will go all over you and all over the floor and make a gigantic mess. But, you know, that's what we're going to do. I am positive that if I was going to keep this truck, that I would be replacing it with a pan that has a drain plug. Maybe I love whoever's going to buy it enough that I'll go ahead and do the set, but it's not really that expensive. And if the guy that's going to buy it is any sort of a mechanic at all, he may very well see that as a bit of a bonus anyway, a selling point, if you will. So anyway, I'm going to pull that off. I know this oil is dark and gross and burnt, so I'm going to try to get a quick video of that for you, if I can get it in time. So, see what we can do. Yeah, I got the pan pulled loose. She's trickling. I only spilled that much. And yes, that is supposed to be automatic transmission fluid. It smells so gross. It is burnt beyond any semblance of recognition. Uh-oh, now we got the front end leaking. Apparently the front end dropped down and now it's leaking, see? That's why we have this pan down here. Because if we're going to make a mess, we may as well catch most of it anyway. Okay, well, she's draining. I'm going to just let her drain until it stops draining, and then we will, I suppose, pull the pan the rest of the way off. And see what it all looks like in there. Let me show you something. Oh, that's gonna fall. Let's see if I get the camera to focus on it. Come on, camera. There it goes. all of the clutch material and metal. It is super gritty. The whole bottom of this pan is coated with like 1/8 of an inch of solid. This transmission is absolutely toast. Go back under here real quick, see if we can get a look at what it looks like without the pan on it. There we go. Nothing there really looks all that out of order other than it's dirty and needs to be cleaned. We'll let it drip here for a little bit. Try to get as much of the oil out of it as we can, and then I'll stick the pan back on it. And because you got to have the pan on there to use the transmission jack and get it down. And probably will worry a little bit more about taking it all apart and getting all of the transmission and transfer case out of it maybe tomorrow. Didn't put in a real big day today out here on the truck because I was working on plumbing for Mom's house, or Debbie's house. So did that till I ran out of parts. I'm gonna make a run to the hardware store tomorrow to get some more plumbing parts. And then doesn't look like I need a starter anymore. I just need to get a battery and work on some wiring, and we probably get the thing fired up. But since I've got it up in the air and I've got everything all tore down, kind of thinking about just proceeding with the Transmissiono Extracto. And then once that's done, with it being as dirty and nasty as it is, I think maybe once the transmission's out of it, I may push the truck out of the shop. Park it outside for a little bit. It'll give me all this room for rebuilding the transmission and room in the shop and that sort of thing. But then will also give me the opportunity to take a pressure washer to this nasty beast and get it cleaned up so I can work on it without being a filthy animal all the time. I think, well, I'm here. I'm going to drain the front differential also. Just got to pull the cover off of it, just like I did the rear differential, and we'll let it drain out too. That will be officially, with the exception of the engine oil, all of the oil will have been drained as of tonight. As far as the engine oil is concerned, it's got oil in it, and the oil that's in it, I got to look at it one more time, but it's fine. I kind of half want to fire the motor up and run it, and maybe even like get it slightly warm before I drain that oil out. I don't know. Maybe I should just drain it and put new oil in it. Hate to do that. You know, you put $60 worth of new oil in the truck and then find out that the motor's blown or something, and you got to drain the dang oil back out of it and throw it away. And probably won't hurt it just to start it and run it for 5 minutes on the oil that's in it. Just make sure it's going to run. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll drain out all of the oil. I'll take that off, let it drain. I'll drain out all the oil except for what's in the engine. And then we'll worry about getting caps back on, new gaskets, silicone, get it all bolted back together, buttoned up, and then pull the transmission and transfer case out. And then we'll lower the truck down and push it out into the great unknown and pressure wash out all of the mess. Really nice if I had the concrete pad poured out in front of the shop at this point, because this Wildfire lift actually comes with casters. So right down there, there's pins that go into that hole right there, and then it cantilevers out from that hole, and this part of the thing sits in right here, and as this bar comes down, it pushes down on that little U-saddle, which pivots it on that pin and pushes the whole lift up on the casters. And I've got 4 of those. There's just 2 of them sitting there, but I've got 4 of those. And what that would allow me to do if I actually had a concrete pad outside is roll the whole lift out, obviously without the truck on it. You'd take the truck off, roll the truck out, roll the whole lift outside, pull the truck back onto the lift, lift it up into the air, and then I could get in there and pressure wash all that gunk out of there from the underside and really make the thing nice and clean. That's going to be super handy when I actually get that done and get that set up to where I can do that. But right now all I have outside is gravel, and those casters, I think, obviously, will not roll. I don't remember what they said this lift weighed. It's got to be 3,000 pounds or so. Those little plastic wheels on the casters are not going to roll that lift across gravel. So anyway, once I get the pad poured, we'll be able to do it that way. But this time, we're just going to roll her out, and I'm going to crawl under it with a pressure washer and probably have a not fun day, but definitely going to wear some eye protection and squint a lot. So anyway, that is what all of the oil that came out of it looked like, with the exception of the water that came out first. So we'll be doing a little inspectorating on this guy just to make sure he's in good shape. Hello. So I don't know, it might have just filled up with water while it sat too. I noticed that the breather tube's disconnected, so it might have just collected water from sitting. Look who's here. Yeah. Are you down here helping? Yes. Are you gonna hide? I thought you wanted to say hi. Hi. Yeah? What do you have to say?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll get in there and clean it out good. Take a look, make sure everything's in good order. You know, you don't necessarily see any metal shavings or anything in it, just goop. So we'll let her drain for a little bit. And then that guy's pretty much just sitting there not doing anything. It seems like it's all out of oil at this point. So we'll probably throw the pan back on it. Like I said, we got most of the oil out of it, and it'll keep from making so much of a mess when we drop the transmission, maybe tomorrow or whatever day we end up doing it. So yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. It's starting to get dark. Probably gonna go up and go to bed. Come here, baby. What do you say?
Bye bye.
Bye bye.